Hi everyone, today our presenter for this video is SYAKIR.
Hi.
AISYAH.
Hi.
NURZAHIRAH.
Hi.
Leah.
Hi.
FATIN.
Hi.
And also myself. Hi. So, without wasting any time, let's check it out.
Hi. From this video, me and my team will introduce you about Bibite Co.Ltd. We would like to tell that Bibite Co.Ltd is the one of the largest companies that produce fast food in Asia. This company was a collaboration company between two small companies originally, which is the company that produced instant noodle and the company that produced nugget. Due to the recession, it has disturbed the economy all over the world, also a business in Malaysia. The real question is, how does this recession affect Bibite?
As we know, we have three basic economic concepts, which is scarcity, choice, and opportunity cost. So we will discuss the first one, scarcity. As a company produces two goods, which is instant noodles and nugget, we also face a scarcity. We face lack of capital such as machinery, tools, equipment. So we could not produce in a large quantity of instant noodle and nugget in one time. Other than that, we also face a lack of manpower because during recession, they cannot work in many people. Next, we will discuss about choice. Due to scarcity, in our company, we will choose instant noodle instead of nugget because instant noodle will give more profit to us. Do you know, if of the choice, we will get foregone cost of nugget. Moreover, we choose the noodle instead of nugget because we produce good products depend on consumer needed. In this current situation, we aware that customer prefer to buy instant noodle instead of nugget because it is easy to serve and delicious. Next, customer make a choice to maximize their satisfaction, while our company make choice to maximize our profit. We will discuss about opportunity cost. On our company, opportunity cost happen when we force to decrease nugget for produce more instant noodle. In addition, we will focus on instant noodle because demand of quantity instant noodle is higher than nugget. So, our opportunity cost of production is the number of nuggets that is foregone.
What and how much to produce? Bibite Co.Ltd has to decide what to produce between the instant noodles and nuggets using the scarce resources based on the need of consumers. From the research, instant noodles are loved by everyone regardless of the age and gender because it is cheaper and easier to prepare. So, how much to produce depends on the power of consumers. How to produce? Bibite Co.Ltd choose to use capital intensive instead of labor intensive because our company need to produce a large quantity of instant noodles and it is not efficient to use human capability to produce this. Moreover, due to the pandemic COVID-19, Bibite Co.Ltd need to reduce the number of workers to minimize the cost. For whom to produce? Our main market target is more to students in hostel as it is easy for them to cook and eat. Plus, instant noodles is cheaper and we all know that students need to save their money to buy the other food. Besides that, we also focus on people who live alone as it is not worth for them to cook many side dishes for themselves.
Did you know how movement outward was occurred on demand curve? Let me explain to you. Due to the recession during pandemic COVID-19, the price of instant noodle was slightly increased by 1 ringgit. This happened when the price of raw material was increased and high cost needed to sanitize all packages of instant noodle before distribute to the consumers. So, the price of instant noodle was increased from 5 ringgit to 6 ringgit and quantity demanded was decreased from 800,000 to 620,000 packages. Hence, will result movement outwards along demand curve. Next, what causes of movement downwards along demand curve? Starting December 2020, the price of raw material decreased and the cost needed to sanitize all instant noodle packages were cheaper than as usual. So, the price of instant noodle decreased from 6 ringgit to 5 ringgit per packages. So, the quantity demanded also increased from 620,000 to 800,000. Hence, it will result a movement downwards along the demand curve.
The expectation of future price will start decrease on November. As our loyal customer expect the price will start decrease, they will not buy Bibite instant noodle before November, but they will buy when the price start decrease. Hence, the demand curve for instant noodle will shift inward. During this pandemic, our loyal customer will prefer an affordable instant noodle than an expensive nuggets. Nugget and instant noodle are substitute, so they will substitute the nugget with the affordable instant noodle. Hence, the demand curve for instant noodle will shift outward.
Supply is defined as the producer's ability and willingness to supply different quantities of goods and services at different possible prices and time range, ceteris paribus. The supply curve will generally be upward sloping, indicating the positive relationship between the price of good or service and the quantity supplied. The movement upward in the graph is because an economic recession. Guys, do you know how we stabilize our huge loss? We stabilize our huge loss by increase our transportation costs. The price of instant noodle increased from 5 ringgit to 6 ringgit, and the quantity of supply also increased from 500,000 to 620,000. Starting in November, the economy starts stable and our company will decrease the transportation costs. The price of instant noodle will decrease from 6 ringgit to 5 ringgit. The quantity per packet also decreased from 620,000 to 500,000. Hence, there will be the movement downward along the supply curve.
Due to pandemic COVID-19, the government of Malaysia enforced to break the chain of COVID-19. During this period, they will operate on a work-from-home basis. In this case, our company Bibite Co.Ltd have difficulty to working in a large groups due to the pandemic. Therefore, our company decide to increase the level of technology. Higher technology levels allow a smaller quantity of resources, which is labor, to be used for our production, which in turn reduces the cost of production. Also, work will be more efficient. This does increase the supply of the instant noodle, and the supply curve will be shifting rightward from S0 to S1. During the recession, the transportation of raw materials became limited, which is needs to get approval from the police first. Thus, our company Bibite Co.Ltd has to incur additional costs because of difficulty to obtain the raw materials of production. Therefore, that has resulted to the price of raw materials to increase. The profit of our company will decrease, hence reducing the supply of instant noodle and shifting the entire supply curve inward from S1 to S0.
Price elasticity of demand is the responsiveness of the change quantity due to change in price. So in our case, Bibite Co.Ltd need to increase their price for RM 5 ringgit to RM 6 ringgit due to effect of the recession. So the quantity demanded will decrease in a large amount for 800,000 to 620,000 packet. This shows the buyer is very responsive with the price as the instant noodle have many substitutes in market. Hence, the price elasticity of demand is elastic. So, based on the calculation, the value of price elasticity of demand is 1.13, which is greater than 1. So, the first one is availability of substitute. As we know, instant noodle has many substitutes in market. So when the Bibite Co.Ltd increase the price of the instant noodle, the quantity demanded will decrease in a large amount as the buyer is very responsive to the change in price, and they can buy other brand of instant noodle that cheaper than us, such as Maggi, Indomie and Mi Sedap. So the price elasticity of demand is elastic. Next, lower income. People with low income is responsive to the change in price, as when Bibite Co.Ltd slightly increase the price of instant noodle, they might not buy our product and find other product that cheaper than us, as it might give effect to their income. So the quantity demanded will decrease in a large amount. So the price elasticity of demand is elastic.
Income elasticity of demand shows the responsiveness of the change in quantity demand for a particular good due to the change in income of the consumer. Instant noodles are normal good. This can be proven when our elasticity of demand is 0.08, which is between 0 to 1, and our consumers is less responsive to the change in income. In other words, instant noodles normally purchased regardless there is an increase in income or not. During the recession, some of companies and business forced to close to prevent this virus from spreading, these causing individuals lose their jobs and unpaid wages on employees. When the income decreases, the demand for our Bibite instant noodle decrease, but in a smaller amount compared to the decrease in income. Cross elasticity of demand is the responsiveness of the change in the quantity demand of goods A due to the change in price of good B. In our case, Maggi is one of substitute goods of Bibite instant noodle. When the price of Maggi instant noodle increases, the quantity demand for Bibite instant noodle will also increase as the price of Maggi is more expensive, so the buyer will consume more on our instant noodle.
The supplier is responsive to the change when the price of instant noodle increases in a small amount from 5 ringgit to 7 ringgit. There is a large change in quantity supply of instant noodle, which is from 500,000 to 770,000 per packet as our goods can easily produce. So guys, it is price elasticity of supply against instant noodle elastic? Yes, it elastic. Our instant noodle is non-perishable. If there is slightly increasement in price, our company will supply more instant noodle because the product can last long to act until 10 months after production. The price elasticity of supply is elastic. The technology that we use in our company is the latest one. If the price increase in small amount, we will supply instant noodle in large amount, as well as it takes short period to produce than using labor. Hence, the price elasticity of supply is elastic.
A market equilibrium is a situation when quantity demanded and quantity supplied are equal and there is no tendency for price or quantity to change. The intersection in this diagram is known as a market equilibrium, whereby price equilibrium is 6 ringgit and quantity equilibrium 620,000. Thus, we agree that 6 ringgit is the best price for both buyer and seller. But if we decrease the price from 6 ringgit to 5 ringgit, it will become short-lived because quantity demanded is greater than quantity supplied. In this diagram, we can see that the quantity demanded is 800,000, but quantity supplied just 500,000. On the other hand, if we increase the price from 6 ringgit to 7 ringgit, it will become a surplus because quantity supply is greater than quantity demanded. Also, in this diagram, we can see that the quantity supply is 770,000, but quantity demanded just 410,000.
The imposition of taxes effect to the cost of production will increase as we as supplier need to pay tax to the government. Moreover, Bibite Co.Ltd need to decrease their supply as they felt burdened by the tax from the government. So, the supply curve will shift inward to the left. What happened to the price equilibrium and quantity equilibrium? Price equilibrium will increase. On the other hand, quantity equilibrium will decrease. Indirect tax allow us as supplier to shift or pass the burden of tax to the consumers. However, Bibite Co.Ltd could not shift or pass the burden of tax to the consumers as the price of elasticity of demand is elastic. So, which one will burden more? So, absolutely, our company, which is Bibite Co.Ltd, will bear more burden of tax. So, this is the calculation of tax. Consumers just need to pay 1 ringgit of tax, but we as suppliers need to pay 2 ringgit for tax. So the total that goes to the government is 1,230,000 ringgit.
Ceiling price. The government has chosen to set 5 ringgit as a ceiling price, so the producers have to put 5 ringgit as a maximum price to be sold into the market. Even during the pandemic COVID-19, Bibite instant noodles still on the price below the ceiling price to follow this legal price set by the government.
That's all from us for this video. We hope all viewers can understand with all our explanation through this video. Thank you so much to Madam Sholehah, our ECO162 lecturer, because teach us and always guide us for these assignments. All the best to everyone from us. Thank you for watching.